For more on the economic outlook in Asia and throughout the world, we can talk to Director of Asian Economic Forecasting. He's David Cohen, and he joins us live from Singapore. David, good to see you again. So we see quite a bit of pessimism now that we've seen second quarter growth figures. I want to know, do you think the recovery's peaked in the U.S. and Europe?
Oh, perhaps the pace of growth is going to slow down there and around the world. Maybe the boost from the biggest boost from the inventory cycle is probably behind us. But what I would emphasize is that although people characterize the recovery in the U.S. as anemic, I think that revolves around how it's frustratingly slow given the high rate of unemployment. But growth is continuing positive in the United States. So from the perspective of Asia, the problems in the United States are not enough to drag down what remains a healthy expansion in the Asian region.
How does China keep its healthy expansion going? I mean, what does a slowdown in the U.S. and Europe, what kind of problems does that present for China?
Well, as the largest exporter in the world, China is not immune to slowing in export demand, as we saw in the past couple of years. But it's rebounded nicely along with the rest of Asian exporters. And I think what we've seen in China this year is the government was tapping on the brakes a bit, trying to avoid overheating in their economy, and they seem to have been successful on that front, but they're still going to grow at near 10% annual GDP in 2010, which remains a powerful engine for the region and the entire world.
But David, how powerful is that engine? I mean, can China really pull the U.S. and Europe to stronger growth?
Well, keep in mind, China this year will surpass Japan as the world's second largest economy. So growth at 10% is definitely significant for the rest of the world. And together with China, the Indian economy is also growing dramatically at 8.5% projected annual growth this year, and it's translating into what remains healthy growth in global trade. I think that's been highlighted by the fact that the German exporters have been able to support a continued solid growth in the German economy despite all of the problems in the Eurozone.
Now, David, you are an economist at the Fed. Do you think we're going to see more stimulus coming from the Fed?
Well, they're playing it by ear right now, for sure. They certainly emphasize that they're not about to hike rates from the near zero levels. I mean, I think that's part of the problem, that just like Japan, there isn't very much room to trim rates further from current levels, and they can look at quantitative easing, but there are some of the governors with concerns about pursuing that too aggressively.
All right, David Cohen, thanks so much for joining us. Have a good weekend.